Ladies and gentlemen, I'm feeling so good today. I thought, why don't we just start early? All right. Look at the excitement in the chat. $100 incoming. I'm just hoping for a close that actually closes above $20 a share for SoFi, but we did absolutely break through the $20 mark. Maybe it's my fault. I don't know. Some people are definitely blaming me online. Essentially, I put out a tweet that looks something along the lines of this. Okay, $20.83 a share. Wow. Of course, I'm seeing this stock absolutely explode whenever the market started opening, and I had to share it. I mean, I didn't even get to sit with $20 a share. We barely got to see 19. And here we are about to cross $21 a share. I had to share it, guys. Okay. So maybe the curse is here. Who knows? But yeah. So by the way, for people that are saying that I absolutely called the top, it wasn't like that. Okay. It wasn't the first, I didn't just open the app, see $20.83, take a screenshot. As I was writing the tweet, I kept screenshotting it multiple times. So I was going to originally post it $20.30, then 2040 happened, then 2050, then 26. So I was like, okay, well, by the time I actually went to go post, it was 2083. And I was like, all right, that's the one that I'm going to post because it looks better. Found out that was the absolute top. So the screenshot curse looks doomed right now, especially because I just nailed the absolute top of that chart there. But whatever. There will become a day where we end up closing above $20 again. People can feel nice and secure knowing that we'll probably stay there for some time. As we know from yesterday, I was talking with Roy, and he actually pointed out a feature of the big, beautiful bill that just got posted, which is actually showing off that there is new caps for how much different students are able to loan from the federal government, rather than it just being simply uncapped, where the actual colleges and everything can just choose what the pricing is. And then, of course, these young 17, 18-year-old kids coming out of high school are just going to sign up because they believe that they'll become doctors, lawyers, etc. down the line. And if you don't end up finishing your degree, doesn't mean that the bills go away. You still end up having those large fees. So what the federal government did was essentially cap the amount that, depending on the different degree that you're going for, how much you can actually get in terms of a loan. Now, the interesting part about that is that many of the limits that they ended up setting here were actually lower than some of the averages that we ended up seeing across student loans in different majors. Okay, so what is going to happen? Well, there's two schools of thought. One is that either the average cost of those loans or the average cost of those degrees might slightly come down. But a more reasonable route, I actually think, is what's going to happen is that there is going to be a step up from private institutions to offer those loans to students that deserve them, right? Students that will pay back or something along these lines, that actually determine to the banks or financial institutions that they will actually see a return. Unlike the federal government that is doing it more for the education and the betterment of society, the financial institutions want a return on their money. SoFi is one of the largest companies that is dealing in private student loans. So it's immediate that the market saw that as a potential of a big boost in the stock's, perceived value, right? Even though student loans doesn't actually make up for a large percentage of SoFi's overall earnings, the understanding from the market is that SoFi's the biggest in student loans, and now there's going to be more demand for, private student loans. Okay, match made in heaven. Either way, it's looking like all the news that's recently come out of the big, beautiful bill, whether this is good for the current debt environment or not, I'm not trying to make heads or tails of that. What I am trying to state, though, is that it almost looks entirely positive for SoFi. Okay? Even other comments around tariffs and everything doesn't seem to directly impact SoFi, but the student loan moratorium, Invest America, these sort of features that have been added are just immediate gains for companies like SoFi. So that could also be bringing up the stock. the fact that we have an unbelievably high amount of short interest going into Q2, and then Q2 alone is supposed to be, one of the best quarters that they've ever posted, if not the best quarter that they've ever posted, which is more along the camp of where I'm leaning, that this is just leading to a very good spot to be a SoFi shareholder, right? We've waited a long time to see $20 a share, but we're here now. So congratulations, everyone. I mean, honestly, it's freaking phenomenal. I purchased yesterday at like $19.50 for like 3 shares or whatever because someone donated. And I was like, all right, I'll just put this towards SoFi. And I'm up. Who would have thought, eh? But, and I'm not selling either. I'm not. Ring the bell. I don't have a bell. But yeah, $20 does deserve a bell. Holy. Especially if we actually end up breaking like $21 or something. You should look at the options chains, even going out just a few days, that the market is expecting to break $21, $22 a share for SoFi over the next little bit. So the market's very, very hot right now. They see this as a potential opportunity. They are not looking at it as just a traditional generic bank. It is a tech company that owns a bank. Okay. They have a bank charter, but that's not the only thing that they're able to do. In fact, SoFi has so many opportunities that are ahead of them that they could go after. It's just a matter of what they end up focusing their time towards. So as long as they continue to do what they've done for the years and years and years that we've been following them, this will be a very happy hold for any of us, right? Especially showing that Q4 is probably going to come out near 40% year over year growth on revenue. Show me another bank that's doing remotely that, or even 30%. You're not going to find one. Okay. That's a very exciting time. And that's really what I believe is the differentiator in the valuation between SoFi and their quote unquote banking peers, even though I don't think that they should be sort of looked at from those banking peers. All right. Overall, I think that there's just been a lot of love for fintech in general. I've gotten a lot of not hate, but just disbelief that fintech is going to be an area of belief at all. And then Hood ran, which was very exciting. Coinbase is starting to run. SoFi is now running. Still waiting on Nubank. They were running previously in the last sort of run. Now it's being held down. I think that will change once we see their next quarter, Q2 of 2025. I think that will be a very big quarter for them. So I really do think that I will be winning across every single fintech that I've ever picked out. And it's just a great place to be. In fact, as long as they continue to go after what is such an unbelievable total addressable market, if they have a product that differentiates them from their competitors, they will win. That's a guarantee for me. And people always highlight things like customer acquisition cost at SoFi, for example, to show like, oh, they're not actually being very efficient. But that's a sold together like sum of all parts for customer acquisition cost. Okay. Because SoFi offers such a breadth of products, you can't compare their customer acquisition cost to ones like Cash App, for example, which even that doesn't look so good because they haven't grown their user base in a little bit. But to highlight what I'm referring to, you have to look at this post here where you can see on the SoFi website, hey, you can now earn $1,000 for each resident doctor or dentist that you invite, and they'll earn $1,000 too. Okay. That's a $2,000 customer acquisition cost to bring on people that might actually have student loans that are in, doctorates, dentists, whatever, that are going to be brought over with large, student loans because of the degrees that they ended up having to go to school for. So SoFi is willing to pay a ton if they know that there's going to be an immediate return from those individuals. Okay. On the other hand, for Relay, they're not paying more than $15 for these people. For the checking accounts, they want to spend like $75, right? So the blended average amongst all of them is somewhere around $300 for a customer acquisition cost. But it doesn't mean that like, how are we supposed to make back $300 from a checking account? That doesn't happen, okay? It all depends on where they came through the door. Now, the hope is that everyone comes through the door through Relay or the checking accounts, and then we just find out that some of those are doctors, dentists, whatever, that do have student loans. And then we just send them an email and go, hey, you should, consider refinancing your federal student loans to private student loans. And we paid $15 for that customer. This, where you are seeing openly, hey, we will pay you $1,000, we will pay them $1,000, means that the demand is so high that the amount of customers that are coming through Relay and are coming through checking accounts is not enough for the amount of student loans that they actually want to write, for the amount of mortgages that they want to write for the people who are actually looking for new homes, right? So whenever you see these types of push notifications with really, really high rewards, demand is skyrocketed right now. Okay, that's another reason why we should be very happy. So yeah, I saw Anthropic and OpenAI, so I thought it was a great way for exposure for only a 2% fee. I think what Brain Cancer Warrior here is talking about in the chat is another feature that ended up getting seen today on SoFi, which was, I think Anthony Noto also shared this as well, but SoFi Insider also posted it. Access to more funds. Fundrise, for example, Liberty Street Advisors, all of these new funds are now available for SoFi Invest users. Depends on the type of investor that you are. I mean, if you're accredited, if you can have the money to purchase into these private allocations or have the time frame to actually invest for 10 plus years and not be able to touch it, might be worth your case. Is it going to change the financials of the business? Probably not. But the first private allocation that we ever saw back in like 2024 or whatever, where they were offering, I forget what company it was, but IPO access and private access had brought in, not brought in's not a word, sorry. Kelly's going to come in the chat and scold me. But bringing in a lot of new users just because SoFi is one of the very few customers that actually offer those products. Like ARK Venture Fund, for example. You can get it at Titan Finance or whatever, or you can get it at SoFi. Well, who the heck uses Titan Finance? So you're going to get it at SoFi. If you're a big ARK fan, for example. SoFi should offer event contracts like Hood. I actually think they will. There's a lot of pushback on this. Whenever Robinhood ended up offering event contracts, everyone said, hey, we don't want a part of any of this. But I actually think that if they do end up doing that, that it would be well received. But, who knows? Did you slide into Strongman's DMs? You know what? I haven't heard from those people in a while. I think I've sort of just stuck to what I'm doing, and the investments have worked out well. And people go away after a bit in terms of, talking crap or whatever they have against me for absolutely no reason. But I honestly like to each his own. Tanner, is SoFi Invest getting a credit card special? So we don't know just yet. The Independence card was floated in surveys, which was a credit card that might come out that involves the amount of, whenever you spend, then money will end up going into your SoFi Invest account, maybe locked into an S&P 500 fund. It'd be very, very exciting if that ended up happening. The cashback was floated to be roughly 5% rather than, even 3% at some of the highest rates that SoFi offers, or 3.3%. So that's very exciting. But yeah. Let's see here. $20 felt good today. Seeing that on screen was nice. Yeah, I've literally never seen it while following SoFi. So it was very fun. Okay, let's see here. Tanner, I saw next we want 25, and Noto is going to deliver that right after earnings. You saw that on X? I hope for it as well, but we never know. Any thoughts on when shorts might start covering? I'm sure they are. I'm sure it's not the exact same group. The problem is that a short thesis works whenever the company is at $8 and they want it to go down to $6. It works a heck of a lot better if it's at 19 and you still think it's going down to 6. So I think you're sort of having a double hit of like, okay, there are a bunch of legacy shorters of this company who are covering, but then new short interest comes in because it's $19 or $20 a share now, and they think that it should be valued much lower. It's always the hard part about shorting is like, as it runs and you believe that it should be lower, it looks like a better opportunity to short. Now, I'm not on that. Like, I don't believe in that side. I'm obviously very much long on SoFi, but you can see how it could stay high the more it runs. 7 figures in SoFi stock. That's the dream, right? Congratulations. Awesome video today. Y'all should check out the top. Yeah, I got people in chat that are promoting my other videos. Yes, it was a fun video to make. Any thoughts on Figma IPO? Not really. I don't use the product. Obviously, it's extremely widely used, especially amongst a design community, but I don't follow it or look into it much. You've helped my family make over 6 figures with SoFi stock. Thank you. Oh man, that's incredible to hear. But really, give yourself some credit there. Like obviously, you're the one that made the buy buttons, made the decisions. So like, it's not me. You know, that was your call. Congratulations. And you deserve every bit of it, right? Like that's the amazing thing about investing is like you put all your capital towards something. It could go the opposite direction. You have conviction, you re-underwrite, you continuously looking at this to find where potentially we could, like this thesis could fall through the cracks. You've assessed those problems, fair value accounting, all these sort of things, competitor products, website traffic, app downloads, how the market is perceiving their products, everything. And you say, no, you know what? I do believe in this company. I'm going to buy for the long haul. Maybe I'm going to put expiry dates on this, maybe leaps, whatever, however you got to that end goal. But like, seriously, congratulations. That's amazing. How cool is that? Yeah, no, Pedro, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Retail has just been on like an unbelievable spree lately. I feel like our picks have been great. Now everyone's a genius in a bull market, but we've definitely been outperforming the markets, and that's been pretty exciting. At what price would you buy some new? I'm buying it now. So I mean now. I think that as well. I think Nubank also has a $20, well, $18 to $20 price target on it all day long. So yeah. But you help keep us educated and informed and calm during stupid times. I mean, that's what I try to do, right? Not everyone has the time to just look into the same companies over and over and over and over. But I'm in a pretty blessed position to be able to do that, and so it's helpful for both of us, right? I'll do the hours and try to condense it into minutes, and you guys benefit from getting the minutes. And what, like, I don't know, it's a good relationship we have. It works. Um, 110K in SoFi now, and is not even close to being done running. I don't think that it's done running in terms of, yeah, $20 is the final place where I think SoFi is going to rest at. But I think that it's important to also judge, like, companies don't need to have one continuous burst until they find, like $40 a share, for example. This can happen in waves as well. So just be careful and don't try to have too many levered bets or extremely small or like short expiry date type contracts to bet on the future price of SoFi at these levels. But that is what I'm very excited about right here. Covered call premiums are looking amazing. Okay. So even just writing between now, as it ran up to like $20.80 to July 11th, was an unbelievable time to just collect a little bit of premium for a few days. Like, I mean, it's an incredible opportunity. Tanner, I honestly try to buy other stocks, but always end up buying NVIDIA screamingly cheap. Uh, yeah, I mean, I have some things I want to talk about for NVIDIA on this show, but just really quickly, if we even look at what Wall Street is saying about NVIDIA, so a lot of the times I find that Wall Street can be kind of nasty towards some of the retail picks, but because NVIDIA is the largest company in the world, it's not really a retail pick. In order to get to be the largest company in the world, it kind of has to be a retail institutional combined pick. Okay. And the average cost of NVIDIA over the last little bit from all analysts is now finally again above $175 a share. It's actually has a 10% upside. And whenever you look at only top analysts, it actually gets up to 11%, not a single sell rating. But I wanted to just go a little bit further to show what has happened over the last couple of weeks. So if we just look, from the last month or so, what we've seen is $200 price targets, 250. I don't care about the Tip Ranks AI. 200 from Cantor Fitzgerald, 185, 190, 185. I mean, if we end up seeing $250 a share, I'm going to cry. Like, we have to remember, whenever SoFi goes up, it's one of my largest positions in my portfolio. I get very excited, okay? Whenever NVIDIA goes up, like, my entire portfolio moves. It's a huge needle mover for me. If that gets to $250, ladies and gentlemen, wow, I'm going to be very, very, very excited. And I'm a big believer that that's what's going to happen. That's why I made such a large bet. But I just like whenever there's confirmation bias and other people that are also agreeing with me in that outcome. Retire. I mean, I don't know what retire means. Like, I feel very retired today. I come on and talk online. If I don't think there's an amount of money that would stop me from doing that today. I love what I'm doing. So like, I don't, like, you guys are my boss in a way, but aside from that, there's no, I don't report to anyone. I don't do anything other than this and control my investment portfolio. That feels like retirement. But obviously it's not retirement in the sense that I'm only playing pickleball or whatever, but I don't think that that's what I would like be happy doing. Yeah. Do you have a real job? Well, in terms of real job, no. I mean, I quit it back in October to do exactly this. The investments were doing well, and I felt really comfortable just going online and talking. So feels like retirement, but yeah. Maybe I'd live in a bigger house or something like this. Like the quality of life might change. I might have some hyperbaric chamber or something like, like some, just richer people things, I guess. But yeah. Time to call it a career. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's what it is though. But yeah, Lambo on the list? Absolutely not. No, whenever I want, like, when I want for things, it's not luxuries like that. It's not better clothes or a faster car or something like this. It's more of like, I don't know, things that improve my actual life, allow me to I don't know, just be able to do what I want. But it's not really luxuries. I don't care. I care about premium. I don't care about luxury. And there's a difference there. Get contacts instead of glasses. That's what's been stopping me. I've not made enough money to buy contacts. No, I don't like shoving shit in my eyes. I don't want, like, I've heard nightmares about people's contacts rolling to the back of their head. Plus, I think me without glasses on is not even a good look anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, I'd probably fly business class a lot more, or like more often for sure. I'm not doing LASIK either. I don't want LASIK. Mm-mm. I get worried about that as well. It's worked out for a lot of people, but I just I get scared. Um, has your price target changed with the recent run up? No. I still think fair value is somewhere between $20 and $25, but just because we're there doesn't mean that we don't deserve, like, that's where I think companies should hang out if the market is actually, being efficient or whatever. So, I want it to stay in that area. And then as more and more quarters come out and push guidance further and set the trailing 12-month revenues higher and net incomes higher, fair value will adjust again. So time will continue to push this stock even higher. Novice question, can you help me understand why Upstart shares are higher than SoFi's? Terry, do you mean by a multiple perspective or by the actual dollar number of, like, Upstart's at, I don't even know what they're at right now, like 70 or something? I haven't seen it in so long. $76 versus $20. Is that what you're referring to? Or are you referring to the multiple on earnings? Actual stock price. Okay, so yeah, this is a pretty easy question to answer. Whenever you're talking about the size of a company, you're actually referring to their market cap, okay? Market capitalization is every single share added together. But whenever you create a business, like, you form a corporation, you can choose how many shares make up the total company. That doesn't change the value of the total business, okay? So think of it, I always think of it as a pie, okay? And if you slice a pie in half, it's still the same amount of pie. If you slice it into what essentially these companies are doing, 100 million different slices, it doesn't change the quantity of the pie, okay? But the total company is determinant on the size of the pie. But so Upstart's pie is actually, like, their total company is actually much, much smaller than SoFi's, but they have many less shares than SoFi does. So SoFi, although it might be $20 a share and Upstart's is $70 a share, it doesn't mean that Upstart's worth more than SoFi. It just means that they haven't split into more shares. They just decided to have bigger slices. But that doesn't mean anything. This is like, this is not a simple answer. Okay, yeah. I've got a problem of overdoing questions sometimes, but essentially that it's determined on how the company wants to break it up. For example, let's just look at this really quick. If we go to NVIDIA, we all know this is the largest company in the world. This is the largest company in the world. They're at $160 a share. But if we go to Berk A shares, Berk A, this is not one of the largest. Well, it is one of the largest companies in the world, but it's an $800 billion company, and they're worth $715,000 a share. Guess what? There's a lot less cuts of the pie. If you buy one share of this business, you're buying a lot of shares. So you can see this, or you're buying a large percentage of the company. If you see here, total shares, 1.44 million shares of this business. But if you go to is AVGO similar in price? It's decent in price. But the total amount of shares for Broadcom, for example, for a $1 trillion company is 4.7 billion slices of pie, if that makes sense. So Upstart's just cut into many less slices. Now, if we actually use the exact thing that you said, Upstart market cap is 7 billion, but they have total shares at 95 million shares. Okay. SoFi has a $22 billion market cap, but 1.1 billion shares. Thank you for your $5 donation. I appreciate it. Hopefully that makes sense. SoFi is diluting, correct. And if we pass $25 a share for 3 months, SoFi will actually have given Noto his rewards for hitting the first tranche of his performance-based stock units, and he will continue to dilute the stock by doing that. Is that a bad thing? Yeah, I mean, it artificially lowers the stock. But what do you get in return? You get a company that's worth $25 a share. So does he deserve it? That's up to you to determine, but I obviously think yes. And he would dilute it a lot more at 35 or 45. But remember, you're holding a stock that's at $45 a share. Yeah, I guess I could have summed it up in that regard. The golden place for SoFi to be at, and hopefully it actually happens sooner rather than later, is that they do continue to have stock-based compensation. That's very common. What is now a very common trend with a lot of balanced growth companies, responsible growth companies, is that they will actually have like stock-based compensation that ends up going to their employees, but then they'll also have buybacks in order to slow down that dilution. And if you're a company like Robinhood, for example, you try to match that 1-to-1. So not even that the average shares outstanding is going down, like we don't really care about that, but just enough so it stays flat. The magic part about this is that like every company's quarter is a trail for a multiple going way into the future. Okay. If you look at Netflix, for example, there was like one quarter where they ended up having less subscribers than they did the quarter before, and the stock tanked. Now, the worrisome part is that every business, every financial institution, every analyst, research company, everything is guiding out into the future. So if they see one quarter end up dipping and there's no real result for that other than, hey, people don't want to have a Netflix subscription, every company starts to model that out as decreasing over time. And then they can go, oh my gosh, we're only going to have X many subscribers 5 years at this rate, right? With dilution, like what SoFi has, people are doing that exact same thing. As we continue to dilute and outstanding shares climb and climb and climb, they take that and they continue that dilution for the next 5 years. Okay. If you can get to a point where you even are able to tell the market that the outstanding shares will be stagnant, every institution will then model for that type of dilution. No more assumptions. No more aggressive dilution here, because that's actually one of the largest bear cases. If you go through a lot of like the short side sell side analysts, is that they actually say that SoFi will not be able to hold up their level of growth without diluting more and raising more capital. It's one of the largest, bear cases for SoFi, that they believe that we are going to need more capital into the future. If SoFi can alleviate those concerns, that will bring up a lot of, average share prices for SoFi. Now, if we go over to SoFi here on tip ranks really quick. You'll actually see that the average share price on the company has not adjusted to its recent run up. Okay. $15. We see a decent amount of sell side analysts here, actually, most recently at $9 a share. Look at Tip Ranks AI. Usually I'm not in favor of this thing, but now that it says $21, hey, it's doing a great job. No, I'm kidding. It's does it actually have the highest price? Is this AI thing? Yeah, it has a higher price than the highest price target on SoFi. Isn't that funny? But Terry Ma today just adjusted their price and went from $12 to $18. Now, should we care? Not at all. And I'll show you why. Essentially, they've been doing this for a long period of time, saying, hey, you know what? We're at $7.54. This is a hold. We're at $11, hold. We're at $14, hold. We're at $16, hold. It doesn't matter what price this stock is at. It's a hold for Terry Ma. Okay. Yet they adjusted the price from 12 to 18 for what reason? Either stick to your guns or get out. So, definitely one of those analysts that is just following the overall price and still being extremely conservative and bearish mainly to that degree. If you didn't like it at 7, why are you liking it here at 20? Where's Gary G? Gary is not an analyst for SoFi. He was just a retail commentator that I had on the show previously, but he no longer does it even for Seeking Alpha, which is what he wrote for. Typical sell-side analyst nonsense. Yeah, it can definitely happen. It's a bad sight whenever it does. What's your take on earnings? Do you think it's better to buy after earnings? Well, my take is that earnings is going to be quite great. I haven't shown my exact numbers just yet. It'll probably be coming this week. But I don't know how the price of the actual stock is going to respond to what I think is going to be a beautiful quarter. I'd like to think that it runs up on amazing earnings because that's what most companies do. But SoFi is a little bit different historically. So I'd like to think that SoFi, as it ages and the market cap gets larger and more retail investors get involved and more institutional and more analysts get involved, that this company will start to have less crazy stock price action, that it'll start to normalize as more and more investors get involved. But that's just a feeling, really, and I don't have very much data to actually back that up. So I would like to think buy before earnings, but who does know these days? Not me. Why will deposit growth be huge? I'm curious what that catalyst is. Obviously, it will grow. It grows every single quarter, but are you saying that it'll be growing faster than historical numbers? Steve likes SoFi now? Does he? Does he really? Take off the shirt and glasses and flex, go full Superman? Tanner, do you own Shark Ninja? I have taken a starter position in Shark Ninja, yes. I think it's getting unfairly beat up because of the tariff concerns. Obviously, they were leaving China, so there's been some benefits to that. Like people know that they're going to be like out of China by 90% of the company by the end of Q2, but out fully by the end of the year. So hopefully the Chinese tariffs will be a bull case to their overall thesis, but then you have like Vietnam and other companies or other countries that they're now manufacturing in that might also get slapped with high tariffs as well. Um, no, I don't care too much about the Figma IPO. Obviously, okay. So, guys, I actually wanted to do something here. Tell me what you guys think about this idea. I have these donations that come in from time to time. Someone donated like $50 the other day, and I bought 3 shares of SoFi with it or whatever. But I thought, how can I have a little bit more involvement than just putting $5 in and saying, "Hey, why is stock price going one direction?" I think that that's no fun. Obviously, I appreciate the contribution to the channel, but how can I get you guys more involved in actually doing something with that money? So, can you guys see me? My computer just died. So I'm going to let that restart. I don't know if you can even hear me or not. But yeah, that sucked. So essentially, what I was going to say, if you guys can even hear me, so was that, yeah, it's a little different, isn't it? Essentially, what I wanted to do was set up a community portfolio. Okay, so if there is any donations or anything that come in, and absolutely no, like, we don't need to donate or anything along those lines. We're not going to create trains or polls or anything like that to try to incentivize that. But I want to create some sort of community portfolio. And I'll either fund it with $1,000, $10,000, something like this to get it started. But I do think it'll be interesting because there are some people that, want me to own AMD or Palantir or whatever. But I think that I want to see if us as a community can outperform the S&P 500 or something along these lines, right? So I still got to find out how we can end up monitoring that portfolio, how I can separate it from my own investing portfolio, and like how all that gets done, and if I can get funds into the account immediately. But I think that this could be a lot of fun. Now, my computer, hold on one second, because it's still saying that. Yeah, that's a good angle. Okay, I'm just going to do a hard reset on the computer. This is like the second time in the last year or so that this has happened. Once whenever I was streaming with Brad and them, and then another time Brad and Evan, and then now this time as well. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I need a new computer. I don't know if this is a overheating I'll spend whatever money. I just don't want to buy a Mac. I don't want an Apple product to solve this issue. Change the CPU fan? Overheating? Okay. Power supply and fan. It might also just it probably needs a good dusting. So I probably should just crack it open from time to time. And what are you supposed to do? Just get like a can of air and blow it out, or what? Tabo just donated $5 and said, "Would you attend a Diddy party to push SoFi to $100 a share?" No, no. Sorry, guys. But like in that situation where this guy just donated $5 or whatever, I'd ask them if they wanted me to throw that into SoFi, for example, and then I buy $5 worth of SoFi to further that in the weighting in the portfolio. And then we just see how it grows over time. I think it would be a fun segment to see how the future investing community, especially with hopefully the style of investing that I do and all of the things that I've been hopefully trying to instill or talk about with total addressable markets and buying the best companies and everything like this, if that does resonate with a company or like a community that actually does outperform the markets as a group, that would be a lot of fun. Now I don't know why this thing's not turning back on. Okay, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, you guys want to see the wall of screens that I sit in front of? So there you go. I've got my sound system over here and everything. All that stuff to monitor the actual things that are going on. iPad there for chat. Different monitors here for whether it's, I don't know, whatever. So yeah. Buy a new chair. Yeah, I'm sure without the muffling of my or like the suppression on the mic, like obviously this is a much better thing. You're not obviously hearing it through there. But yeah, the chair is probably really squeaky right now. It usually is. Like it's terrible. But I don't know. I should probably just like hit it with some WD-40 or something. Like I'm sure that actually works a little bit better. Okay, the computer's turning back on. I'm going to jump back on, then we can get a little bit more out of Q&A and stuff like this. See if we can actually, learn a couple more things together. Okay, let's see. So if I gave you $10 to buy Lucid share, you'd have to add it to the community portfolio. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the sort of thing that I think is like, if you're a true believer in Lucid, then do that. Now, I don't know if I, like, but that like, yeah, I'm not going to turn down that into the portfolio. So if SoFi is what we want to full port into, and everyone says go SoFi, go SoFi, go SoFi, that's what we'll go. But if some guy goes, hey, I'll give you $10, you have to buy Lucid, then I'm buying Lucid. And it won't be one share. I'm going to buy it based on a dollar amount. So it'll be like, if someone says to buy $50 of Mercado Libre, I'll buy $50 of Mercado Libre. We'll just fractional share it. So yeah. So yeah, you can't say no. So there will be some level of restriction in terms of like, I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, $1 billion market cap as a minimum, something like this. I don't want it made up of 1,000 different penny stocks. So something along the lines that allows us to just simply buy companies that people actually know. But yeah, obviously there will be some junk that ends up showing up there. And I'm not saying Lucid is one of those, but there will be some new names for sure. Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened. Jeez. Let's do it. Okay, I'll set it up. I'll have to find a platform to do it on. I think maybe like Savvy Trader or something might have an ability for me to do that. That way you guys can always just go on and check it, and you'll be able to see like, okay, well, how has it performed over the last 3 months, 1 month, 1 year, compare it against the S&P 500. That might be the best platform. I don't know if there's another one or something that you guys prefer. Okay. Let's see here. I'm still holding my phone, so I'm like typing in half speed right now. Okay, switching over. CPU fan. That's what they said. Okay, whoa. That was terrible. Okay. How do I get off this now? Because last time I tried to do this, I'm just going to do that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm back. Let's try not to crash the PC. Okay, I've got to clean my computer or something. The room might be hot as well. Turn on a ceiling fan. Yeah, I mean, the room, yeah, it's always hot in here with all the studio lights and everything. So that's definitely true. Yeah, it probably was a close up on the stash. Eh? Did he just time travel? Okay. What are we welcoming now? Just me back on the main camera setup, everything like this. Yeah. Okay, so what I could do is do this through Savvy Trader, and then we'll come up with a community portfolio. That way, people are not just donating just to support the channel. We'll end up creating something that's actually fun and you know, I'll still answer your questions and everything like this, but at least it will build something over time that suits more into what the you know, what the community is actually about, which is investing. Maybe make the portfolio a list of 100 popular companies and then let people pick amongst those companies. I could do that, but then I think that there's going to be some name, like, I don't want to miss out on the Nebuuses of the world or the like there's going to be names that come in afterwards that could be very exciting to follow. But yeah. Can we just do it on public? Yeah, but I think public is for America. Like, the problem is too, I'm a Canadian. You know, it doesn't really make it easy for me. So, but yeah, public would be a great way to do that, or M1 Finance or something like this. But they won't let me set up an account there. So I kind of need to do one where I have the portfolio and actually set it up on a brokerage here in Canada, and then have a way of showing you guys and sharing with it another way. Become the 51 or 51st state. Yeah, I mean, that's on the table. I make $160,000 a year and save about $36,000 a year after everything. And I made over $200,000 in SoFi this year so far. Stock market is such a wealth maker. I'm emotional now. Realist, that's absolutely amazing. Congratulations. It really is an unbelievable unlock once you get the ball rolling, right? Now that you have that additional $200,000 or however much you've started from, now the next time that you find that next winner and you have that same level of a portfolio allocated towards the next big winner, like, the 200K comes a lot easier, or whatever. Like, see, I don't know your starting point. That's the only unfortunate part. But as you build the portfolio, it makes it more and more easy to start that. Buy QXO. Okay, I'm gonna have to save this. So, whenever we start it, that'll be the first entry. There you go. Gosh, I'm gonna be buying everything and anything. Just whatever people. We'll have to come up with some sort of rule. Blossom. Yeah, I mean, what's the difference between Blossom and Savvy Trader? I actually don't know. It seems similar. How many positions? I don't think I'm going to have a limit. It should have rules. I do agree. Market cap, yeah, maybe a billion. I don't know. Let's see here. Tanner will pick anything but SoFi. No, I'm not. I'm not deciding to. If someone says SoFi, that's what gets put in the portfolio. But this will kind of be a community effort. That's what I think is exciting. Yeah, $14 billion market cap. This would fit in by any matter. So, and could be a large gainer over time. So, that's fine. Reallocate every quarter. I was thinking every year. That's what I was thinking, is that every year we probably turn every portfolio into the S&P 500 or something like this, like just buy the SPY, and then like something along those lines. There will have to be a reallocation period, because obviously some people are buying companies for short periods of time and then things change over time. So, yeah. Patreon, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't think they have a feature to end up tracking that. I'll just put a link. It won't be for a paid service or anything. I'll let anyone track it. Yeah. Five years from now, throw a party. Yeah, we'll just use all the proceeds that we end up getting from the portfolio, especially all the gains. Like that'll just go to maybe doing exactly what Amit's doing, where we could do meetups or whatever, and that'll be like a little portfolio for everyone that's already contributed back to it. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think that's a good way of doing things, and if I do like Savvy Trader, for example, it'll also be a public portfolio. So not only can we view it, but other people like Amit's channel and everything can see how our community's doing. So, I mean, we might end up starting something here. Might be interesting. Yeah. Tax responsibility, though. Yeah, I'm completely aware. But even with the donations, like the full donation does not come to me. Obviously, YouTube takes a percentage, right? And I'll just fill that gap. Like, I'm not worried about that. I don't know. I think it'll be fun. I think it's worth it um, for the fun of it. We can look at it every day or every week or whatever on the show and see how it grows over time. And it might not. Like, I mean, if no one's interested in it, that's fine as well. One share of SoFi. Yeah. Okay, got it. Understood. I will. I'll put in the one share. I'm just screenshotting those, so I'll be able to put them in. Can we YOLO? What does that mean exactly? Like, no, it's sheer shares. By the way, we're not going to do any crazy options, anything like this. If that's what you're getting at, no, because then it's impossible for me to track the performance from a different thing than what is my actual portfolio that I'm doing it in, right? Just use future donations to cover taxes. No, I think like I hope that every donation that ends up coming in goes to this portfolio and we can end up just growing it over time. I hope it's something that happens for years and years and years. And as the channel even gets bigger, that obviously we do reallocate the old stuff, but we just sort of see how it grows. Like, I think it's a better community thing than me just like pocketing a donation, you know? Holding Bitcoin? No, I think we're going to keep it to equities just because it's easier for me to actually purchase in my brokerage. Use the reallocation to actually build a position with the next stock draft. Um, what's your strike and expiry for? Do you have on Hood and NVIDIA? I think for Hood it's something like 110 for July 11th or something like this, and then for NVIDIA I think it's 170 for July 17th, if I'm correct, something along those lines. I don't get too close to the actual stock prices. It's further out than what other people are doing, obviously, but I don't want to have to roll or do anything like this, and I'm pretty new to it regardless. So just making a little extra money on the shares that I already have. Um, I'm saying to cover your taxes when you rebalance those annual taxes on the portfolio, just so you aren't out of money out of pocket for a community portfolio. Yeah, I mean, um, I see what you're saying, but yeah, I don't foresee it getting to a size that that's going to be something that is concerning at all. And um, yeah, I don't know. I think the portfolio or whatever is going to get to like $1,000 or $2,000 or something like that, and then we'll manage that. Like, um, obviously, every donation that continues, it'll just keep growing a little bit. But yeah, no taxes if you don't sell. Well, we will end up rebalancing into some sort of SPY at the end of the year or something like that. Like we'll do like a yearly thing. Any advice for someone new to fasting besides black coffee? Warm liquids. It just cures it doesn't cure the hunger, but it definitely helps. Way more sodium, potassium, and magnesium than you'd ever think. And like seriously, look it up. It's a ton. Okay. Um, some sort of magnesium supplement to help with the muscle aches if you're starting to get into longer fasts. Lots of electrolytes, but you have to make sure that the if you're buying some sort of like I know a lot of people use powders and stuff for like sugary drinks, or well not sugary drinks, but like an electrolyte mix, that it has no carbohydrates, it has no calories. Okay, you want zero zero. The only thing that you should see is any sort of potassium, um, what is it? Sodium and yeah, that's pretty much it. You want zero cal. Green tea was good. Green tea was good. That can't be good for you at all. It's actually extremely good for you. It's not good for extended periods of or like, but it is extremely good for you. Will Tanner try a watermelon fast? No. Am I vegan? No. I'm closer to being a carnivore than a vegan. I almost exclusively eat like I'm right now I feel like I'm on like a fruit and meat diet these days. Um yeah, not a vegan at all. I try to have a very high protein diet. Very high. Don't forget your veggies. I do eat veggies, obviously. But um I've been known to have meals of just chicken breast or just eggs or something like this, just to um, satiate the hunger and get my protein intake. Uh, yeah, I overlook veggies sometimes. That's for sure. How many grams of protein do you eat a day? I try to do about 180. I don't always get there, but I try. When is the gym stream? I don't think there will be one. I've uh, I've thought about it. I've thought about doing a running, not a running stream, but sort of like a blog or something like this. But um, I don't know. Comes with a little bit of risks whenever I kind of feel like I'm doxing myself by uh, showing off where I'm going or something like this. I don't know. I'm a little bit weirded out by that kind of stuff. Jim Bro investing. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what strongman finance was about, I guess. But who knew we had so much in common? Tanner has a high metabolism. Yeah, I definitely do. I've always known that, but it has its strength or like its benefits, and it like I don't know. People who carry more weight and have to eat a certain way to lose that weight always feel like they want to have a high metabolism. And then somebody who, like myself, has always been on the extreme light side and has always had a very hard time adding weight. That's also been um, very tough as well. So I don't know. I feel like it's a grass is greener type situation where obviously people would want faster metabolism, and then once runs a little too hot, that you kind of look a little on the skinnier side. That's what everyone would say, but I don't know. Um, Current favorite exercise: a seated row, heavy row, close grip, bang. Oh my gosh, nothing makes you feel better. Any answer other than pull-ups is false. I definitely do a lot of pull-ups. Weighted pull-ups, something like this. I also like nothing crazy, but um, I also do a lot of hangs, which is really interesting. I remember with Roy, whenever we met in, I think it was San Francisco, we went to Equinox, which was a lot of fun, and um, I love to do a lot of hangs. He just thought I was not doing a pull up, but I've had shoulder problems in the past, like with jujitsu and stuff. So hanging is unbelievable for your shoulders, and if you can get to a part where you can do one armed hangs, super great for your shoulders. Um, and I like to switch between that. Hit the military presses. Oh my gosh, I was showing Roy that. So this was an exercise, and Roy can attest to this. I was showing him military presses. I absolutely love. I was doing a pull up, but late, like always. But yeah, I was showing him military presses and how I do it, both standing with a barbell. Lots and lots of fun. That might be one of my favorite exercises as well. I love a military press. What belt am I in jujitsu? So I only have a single. I don't know what you call it, like a um, black strip on my white belt. So I didn't do it as long as people give me credit for sometimes, because once I actually had the shoulder injury, I hadn't really been back. And honestly, a lot of the times I just miss grading. So at the gym that I was going to, there would be like certain times on Sundays whenever we'd do, yeah, just a black stripe on my white belt. Um, but a lot of the times, whenever we'd actually do grading, it'd just be on a weird time on Sundays, whenever I just want to spend it with my girlfriend. And I just didn't care about actually getting the grade. Like, I don't care what belt I am. In fact, it probably, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. And for the most part, I wasn't even really into being in a gi. I always liked doing the like no gi exercises. I always showed up for the no gi days because that was sort of um, what I liked. But yeah, I think it's a white piece of tape on a black stripe of a white belt. What? No, nothing like this. I've never, honestly, I'm not even really big into deadlifts or stuff like, not a big deadlift guy. I know that's sacrilegious for the gym bros, but never been a big into like power cleans or anything like this. Absolutely not. Um, Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and deep squats. Yeah, I mean, we got a calisthenics man right here. Yeah, that is enough for some people. That's for sure. Am I in grab? No, not in grab. I just think Nubank sort of fills that role for me right now, so I don't really care to change anything there. What's new with new? Not too much. I actually just shared online today a beautiful clip that I always go back to. There's really two clips. I'm gonna I'll share with you guys the next tweet that I was gonna put out about Nubank. I just didn't want to just bombard my X with new tweets. But David Velez said that one of the biggest concerns that he has with the business is assuming that they've won. Now we have to remember, like over 30%, like 35% of the entire Brazilian population uses Nubank, not just as a bank, but as their primary banking relationship. Okay, that's their primary bank. Like, I'll say it for David, they have won. Like, they're the largest bank in LATAM, but one of his concerns is that, like, they need to completely stay hungry and realize that they actually can grow a business that has 1 billion users. Not 1 million, 1 billion. Now, seems crazy for that to be their goal, but that really is their goal. That's their management statement. They're at 120 million right now, and their last goal was 100 million. And before that was 10 million. Before that was 1 million. They've continued to smash through those goals. So one thing that I will show is this video that I just shared from 20 VC. That was a conversation with David Velez. This is the CEO. We have to remember, this guy's not a Brazilian. He doesn't speak Portuguese. He wasn't in credit. He was actually a banking analyst, just like Anthony Noto was, except in Colombia, and then ended up coming up to Morgan Stanley and everything to join. I think it was YC Combinator after that, and then he went back to LATAM. There's a whole big thing. Anyway, just listen to this though, because it goes to the exceptional execution and why buying the best company in the world in their field is worth so much more than what I think, just buying any company that might have good unit economics. Listen to this.
Guess what is the highest net promoter score of any consumer product in the world today? This is going to be surprising to you. It's not the Tesla. It's not the iPhone. The best, highest rated NPS consumer product in the world in any category is Nubank's Purple credit card in Mexico. It's a 94 NPS. It's strange that that's the case, but that just tells you two things. That tells you something about the market and the problem, and tells you something about the solution and the strategy that we've chosen to build this consumer brand. So guess what is the highest net promoter score?
It's unbelievable. NPS. So I even highlighted this just so people would. NPS means Net Promoter Score. It measures how likely someone would be to recommend another product to another. The score ranges between -100 to +100. Anything above 70 is considered world class, and it's a signal for loyalty, satisfaction, and product-led growth. So the fact that Nubank has the highest single product score of any product worldwide is an insane feat for any business to hit. Okay. Obviously, I mean, being the best at anything is obviously a feat of its own. But no wonder they have the lowest customer acquisition cost of any fintech worldwide. No wonder they have exceptionally fast-growing monthly average revenue per user, lowering the cost of serve. They are almost entirely vertically integrated. Okay, one of the greatest companies I've ever taken a look at, and the disrespect to the company over the last little bit because of foreign exchange fears has been overblown. Okay. So I'm going to continue to bet on Nubank. Very happy with that. In terms of what's new, one of the things that I also liked about the interview that just recently happened, well, actually, that's not a new interview, but was the excitement about non-financial products at Nubank, like NewCell, for example, which is their communications thing where you can end up actually getting, like connection for your phone, pay the monthly fee directly to Nubank, and then they end up partnering with another company through a service called an NVNO, where they're working with a telecommunications company, but they actually own the contracts. Anyway, what's so exciting about this is that obviously the total addressable market outside of financial services is bigger than financial services themselves, and they really, really, really do think that they could tackle it. They said every single business is trying to get into financial services, but there's not a whole lot of financial services companies trying to get out of financial services. Not necessarily out, but expand out, right? And that is very, very exciting. And they do have a Robinhood Gold esque feature. They have a Nubank Plus sort of promotion as well that gets them all sorts of additional fees. Nubank's 52-week high is 15, yes, and I think they are worth well above 18 today. I need a purple credit card. I mean, the funniest thing about the purple credit card is that if you had a credit card like you do here in America, like the Robinhood Gold card, would blow it away. Okay, that's the interesting thing. But the comps, like if you don't have a purple card, what are your alternatives? They're all terrible. They're all terrible. Okay. So it's not that Nubank is super exceptional. I mean, I actually do think that they offer a lot of services that are much better than what we even have in America or Canada. But the difference versus their peers is so much different there that makes them stand out. Right. So it's not that the purple credit card would be all that excellent here. It's that it just looks amazing sitting beside companies that have historically taken advantage of their customers, you know? What is the lowest price that I got in at new? I think it was $3.81, something around there. That was my first initial purchase, and I actually purchased decently, which was nice. I think it was $3.81. Well, it wasn't just a good time. I mean, I made a video at the exact same time that I went public. So you guys can go all the way back. I think it's called like Warren Buffett's favorite LatAm fintech, something like that. I forget what the name of the video is, but it was all the way back in January of 2023, I think. So you can see, like, I made a post right whenever I purchased. Yeah, it was good. Congratulations on the low buy. I mean, guys, I accumulated like crazy all the way up to about $7-8, and even then, I was buying so much at $7 because we sort of stagnated at that level, and was even able to purchase more at like 10 or whatever, 10.50, 10.80, something around there. But Crispy, I'll answer that in a second. One sec. So, but for Nubank, whenever you see a company absolutely dominating, there's not really a second place. Now there might be a second place, which is Mercado Pago, and they're gaining a lot of traction in Brazil. But I own them too, so I feel very confident there. But yeah, they are the most like one of the most exciting businesses I've ever taken a look at, and their management is of the highest degree I've ever seen of any business ever. Ever. David Velez is one of one. Yeah, so exactly. Crossroads just answered it. So is SoFi expensive for the PE ratio? Well, the PE ratio is showing a company that is not where they want to be for price to earnings. So there's so much extended, or there's so much future margin expansion that we're going to end up seeing. So you're kind of catching them in a a growth period right now. It's almost like Nubank. Like I remember whenever I was buying Nubank at 6 and the PE ratio was like 500. And everyone was like, whoa, you're buying this company? And now it's even a higher price than what it was. And the forward PE is 20. Okay. But that's because they weren't actually where they wanted to be. They were just starting to turn profitable. SoFi is still sort of in that phase right now. So it is better to look at a PEG ratio than a PE ratio because it prices in their growth as well. Buy Clove for your new portfolio. What is Clove's market cap? If it's 1.5 billion. Okay, so this is going to be determinant on if we are allowing $1 billion companies or $5 billion companies. If we're allowing $1 billion companies, I will buy $50 of Clove. Okay, I just marked that as well. So far, I think I'm getting QXO. And hold on, what is it? Screenshots. QXO, SoFi, and Clove. 1 billion? Okay, I'll do 1 billion. Oh, one person said 1 billion, so we'll do 1 billion. Uh-oh. Regret didn't buy much whenever SoFi was $10. I mean, if it went down, you'd be saying the opposite as well. Okay, let's actually do a poll for 1 to 5 billion. Let's just make sure. I think that there will be less creative picks, though, if we do 5 billion. That does cut out a lot of the, small cap names. If not all small cap names. I have to remember, is small cap up to 8? What is it now? I forget what the index. I posted about it. Now I don't remember. Okay. For the future investing community portfolio, can we allow, or sorry, what market cap is the minimum? $1 billion market cap, $5 billion market cap. There should also be like some sort of we'll start to adjust the rules as things go on, and I'll put this into some sort of spreadsheet description, whatever. Yeah. $1 billion is safe. Yeah, I do think that 1 billion gets us past a lot of the junk that I really don't want to buy. It'll be so interesting how this portfolio gets created, because like this $50 donation is going to make Clove like the largest position. Like if I don't front run this portfolio, so if I don't put in like, I think the problem is I don't think that this portfolio is going to get, like, I hope it gets big. But if it doesn't, and I put in like 10 grand, then it's just going to be my picks. And then there's going to be like a small sliver that's everyone else's picks. If I put in 1,000, then maybe it'll be like half and half or something. I don't know. But I'm just looking at today. I mean, like we already have like $100 and something worth of picks. And by the way, if you guys are still here and want something to put this towards, if we're going to start this community, I'll even put in $5. Or I don't know, maybe we should make the minimum 10. That way, like we just don't get, like, it'll have to depend. If I get spammed with just 100 different small orders, I'll change it as things go. because I don't want to spend my night purchasing it all on, on the brokerage. SoFi not allowing Clove to be number one. Okay, I'll make sure I screenshot that. But I think that also cements that Clove is definitely going in. Yeah, I'll have to set that up. I think we'll probably use Savvy Trader or something like that. And then I'll put out the link and make it perfectly public so everyone can see how the portfolio does over time. And then it's just a matter of the time. So I think because a lot of these are just going to be fractional shares, like for example, SoFi, it's $20. How do I do that for $50 worth? So I think everything is going to be fractionally purchased. I think the way that works is that whenever you do a fractional share purchase, that they purchase them at a specific time. I think the brokerage that I have purchases fractional shares at 3 p.m., if I'm correct. So whatever the start of the next day, or whatever that period is of the next day, will have to be the entry price for the stocks. Obviously, that is not what I want to happen, but that allows for people to also say, hey, purchase Melly with this $10 donation or something, and I don't have to give you $3,000 in order to get a full share. Like, that would just be ridiculous. So I think that allows for a good mix of being able to associate a smaller amount of money with whatever pick you want, a Google, a Amazon, whatever, even if you have $10, $20 to, show your side of the community portfolio. This fund is going to be $20K in a year. I think Tanner underestimates us. I mean, if it does, I'm good. That's going to be if it does, we're going to have to make some severe changes because, like I said, Google, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'll put some money aside to make sure that if I have a couple $1,000 bills to charge against it, I mean, yeah. Because YouTube doesn't give me the full 50 for these donations, so I'm just going to fill in the rest with, my own capital. So it's no problem. Overall, at the end of the day, like, it'll still be rebalanced into an S&P, and then I don't have to worry about you guys buying trash 1 year from now or whatever. UNH for the distressed blue chip exposure. Got you. Okay, that's saved into it as well. UNH is Chris Patel's like favorite pick right now. Is the top in the in his like, what do you call it? Stock draft, 2025 stock draft. Will the shares bought be allowed to rent to shorts? Yeah, I mean, I'll probably have that on the entire time. Share lending, yeah. I'll update it at the end of each show. I'm not going to go in and do that now, but I'll make sure that it's set up on, and the link will be in the description every day going forward. Okay. Don't you wish you had a Robinhood account? Yeah, this would be so much easier if I had a Robinhood account. I'd even buy like, ASTS now. You're diversifying yourself. You're not like, I think Raymond's put in, Clove and ASTS. I got you. Raymond's going to be the guy that brings in the speculative plays. He's the Matt Money fan for sure. I love it. But this is exactly what I wanted, is that this is going to show such a different portfolio than what I'm used to. And it's going to be interesting to compare even my own portfolio to how the community's portfolio, if the community ends up beating my own portfolio on a percentage basis, I mean, obviously, like, that's going to be wild. And you know what? For your guys' sake, like, I absolutely hope that happens. And I hope that I learn along the way how this is going to happen. Like, I don't know. To some degree, I'm like, if we do hold ASTS and Clove, I'm probably going to have to follow those companies to some degree if they become our large holdings in our portfolio. You know, it's going to be very different, very, very different. So small caps, but a $1 billion minimum. Oh, wait, what did we see for that? It's actually split right now, mixed between 1 billion and 5 billion. How many votes? 87 votes. Get those votes in. We got 400 plus people here. Should the minimum be 1 billion or 5 billion? Gonna make Tanner buy hymns. I mean, honestly, guys, I think that you should like buy things that you actually think are going to do well. I think that's what's going to make the community look great. You know, like I don't care if it like these individual holdings go down. Like it, like that part I don't care about. But if like the actual future investing community portfolio is like doing better than the markets, to me that is like that's something that could go viral. You know, like that's something that other people will post about and go like, oh my god, the future investing community actually like it's not just one creator or something like this, it's the whole audience. Hymns, okay. Hymns, dude, I'm gonna have to put in a bunch of orders today. How many positions are you looking to have? No limit. No limit. I'm going to let you guys be the diversifiers of this portfolio. So if things get out of whack, I'll probably start to put in my own money to also like maybe change the. I'll have to put in some orders of NVIDIA if no one ends up putting them in. But like, yeah, I think that I'm not going to be the arbiter of what you guys want in the portfolio. I mean, you guys represent the community. We'll see how the community ends up doing. Yes, exactly. Exactly. A stock like ServiceNow, I love ServiceNow. I love ServiceNow. But no one has to donate $1,000 in order to give ServiceNow. $10 will buy $10 worth of ServiceNow. Yeah, 1 billion is outdoing the 5 billion. So another order for SoFi. SoFi is going to be our biggest holding, which I think is very reasonable. I think that's very reasonable. Tanner's D-Gen. I mean, to some degree, it might turn into that. I hope it doesn't. I mean, I think the one blue chip that we have is UNH, which even that seems a little D-Gen. But I hope to some degree, like I might have to go in and buy ServiceNow or whatever to add to that. But we'll have to see. I mean, this might be the thing that plays out over years and we can track the performance and do all that. Like I know there's been a bunch of people that are like, hey, you know, you have to have AMD in your portfolio and everything. I'm like, no, I don't. But I'm just like, but if we have a community portfolio, then you guys can prove me wrong. You know, it just, that I think works well. Over diversified portfolios can lag growth. I mean, yeah, it's true, but I'll let you guys be the determiners of, hey, we have too many positions, whatever. And then, like I said, every, I don't know, year or something, run the price up for SoFi, okay. And then every year or something, then we can do a rebalancing to make sure that like things get back on track in a way. Because obviously we don't just want to keep buying companies that potentially are getting, yeah, like what happens if one of these companies ends up getting acquired and then we just get assigned a new company that ended up purchasing them? Should that be rebalanced or should we just hold the new company that acquired them? Bro, add ServiceNow instead of SoFi again. I didn't realize what I was even doing there. But like, I'm not saying there's a lot of orders for SoFi. We've got SoFi here, SoFi here. SoFi. SoFi will be the largest holding. I think that's fair. You know? Did Terry Scott or Tavo say anything in the chat? Because I said that their $5 orders will be counted this time, even though they just asked questions. Yes, I will have to keep up. We'll create a segment in the show or something along these lines, so then people are aware. Or anytime that there is a donation, I'll make sure that they know that they can pick a stock that goes towards a community portfolio. I need to put a grand in. Dude, you know what's so funny? I was like, what is Yo Mama? I'm too slow. That's funny. And if Matt ever did donate, there's not a single chance he would buy anything other than SoFi. So I knew for a fact, as I was reading, I was like, what? This got to be some sort of joke. And I still didn't get it. Yeah, we'll have to see. And then, you know what I'm going to try to do as well, but I'll have to create something. I don't know how we'll do it, but I'll try to keep the names of all the people that have donated so you can see who was the people. Like, I don't just want it to be, oh, you know, like if one guy in here says Clove and that's the best performer of the next year, I don't want everyone to take credit. That was that guy, you know? So like you have to give them credit. So I'm going to keep some sort of leaderboard and show what people have with their name. And then, yeah, it'll be hard for me to kind of create this. I'll play around on spreadsheets for a bit to try to make it happen. But that will be very interesting to see like who is winning. And if there is some people like their picks have outperformed everyone else, maybe like that's where all the winnings of the portfolio will go. Like, I don't know how we're going to, but like, I do think that it's obviously like a good, fun, you know, community thing. Yeah, that should be another rule. Like, it's got to be growth stocks. Like, if you come in here telling me to buy like Citigroup or something, like, just get out of here. No, I mean, obviously, if you want Citigroup, I will end up putting that in. But yeah, I'll donate for Bull. I mean, I'll have to buy it. Like, I'm not anti. Well, yeah, I mean, their market cap is enough for that. Weeble's fine. I mean, I just think that it's not that Weeble can't do well over the next year or whatever. It's just that it's not as clear as what could happen. Like, I just wish they didn't do what they did with, what was the name of the, Yorkville Advisors. I just wish they never did that. I wish if they needed to raise capital, they did it in a cleaner way. Buy some Palantir so Amit isn't angry with us. Okay, perfect. We have a little bit of Palantir. Like a fraction of a share. Ameritrade used to have a virtual stock trading game. Yeah, so I'm going to track it on a thing like Savvy Trader that's going to actually track the portfolio, but I don't want it to be virtual. I want it to be obviously real money. So that's how we're going to do it. And in terms of Ameritrade having a virtual thing, there's a bunch of companies that offer that, even for free, I think, for the most part. Yeah, crazy, right? That would be so crazy. And hopefully we do have, like, if there's such diversified picks. Okay, we got $10 of Palantir. It's gonna be a Palantir. It's gonna be a Palantir portfolio. No, it's really looking like a SoFi portfolio, and I think Richard came in with some pretty big buys on Clove and ASTS. So if those work out, I mean, he could be the hero here. But he could all. Hey, you know what? Actually, I was going to say I'm going to shun the people. If you donate a ton, you're bringing the portfolio down. But I think that's kind of anti what we're trying to aim for here. I do want it to be something that people could root for, not like, oh, I'm worried that I'm going to end up last place. I'm not going to do that. Use SoFi's platform. Obviously, the fractional share trading and everything works. There's only one problem. I'm a Canadian. I don't have access. So that's the only problem that makes this a little bit harder, is obviously you guys have good tools that would work very well. But I think I'm probably just going to do it through Wealth Simple and do that. And then TSDD. Okay, so this I don't know if TSDD, so let's talk about this for a sec. This is a 2x short Tesla ETF. Can we talk for a couple minutes? One, I think it should be solo equities. Two, the AUM is only 100 million, so it doesn't fall under our billion requirement. And three, any sort of leverage pick or something like this, I don't think should also be allowed. So JT, please let me know what else. I will put your $20 towards another pick. I think you had done a donation before. Do you want just more of SoFi? SoFi. Okay. Got you. Okay. I'll make sure that it's $70 for SoFi. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. You guys get to decide if I get into leverage and all these different things. That's so freaking funny. Yeah, we'll end up shorting, and then I'll end up contacting the people who set up the shorts to pay for their short calls. We'll have to say, oh, you have to continue to donate to fulfill the short orders, or the premiums on the shorts. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, you know what I've realized though? Like, we've gotten so many Palantir orders, but they're all like $5. I thought you guys were loaded. We got Clove and ASTS guys and SoFi guys throwing big money. It'll be so interesting to see how this plays out over time. One, I've obviously severely underestimated how big these community portfolios are going to be, because we've already gotten so many orders. This is like way more than I thought we were going to get over like a month, let alone a single day. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably true too. Even the biggest bulls understand that it's one of the more expensive companies. But yeah, SoFi, or sorry, the future investing community is strong, and I love that you guys love the idea, because I was so stressed. Like, I was asking everyone, I was like, "Do you guys think this is a good idea?" Like, I'm loving it, but I don't know how to track it very well. And like, obviously, Public or SoFi or all these ones would be really well, because or like really great options, but I can't use any of them. Like, it was so close to being a good idea, but then there wasn't a whole lot of great opportunities. Or like great ways to share them, or I don't know. It's just, So how often will we discuss this? Well, I think it depends on the moves. Like, obviously, we can show it off every single day, but if the portfolio is just absolutely flat, it'll be like the stock draft. Like every day that there's something exciting or reasons to show off the stock draft, we'll show it every day if there's things that are moving. If it's absolutely flat and it sort of just is stagnant over time, then we won't show it. Well, I mean, yeah, it all depends on the news. If SoFi comes out with a loan platform business for student loans, and we just signed BlackRock, I'm sure we'll just be full for the day. We'll have too much to talk about that day. But yeah, Grab. So that's another one. Is this US equities only? Is this how about Grab is on what exchange? I think they're on the New York Stock Exchange. Am I correct? How can I tell? Obviously Grab will be fine, but there will be names. Yeah, it's on NASDAQ, so that's fine. But no like names that are completely off the regular, just like New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ. I have to be able to purchase it on my regular brokerage. Okay. Am I in Clove? No. But I will be in Clove on the community portfolio. Chime, buy some for the community fund. Got you. Okay, so hold on. Kevin, you got to allocate that somewhere else, or I'm not doing $2 orders. I even think the $5 orders are a little bit too small. If there's going to be a bunch of orders, I might increase it to 10. $2, I'm definitely not adding to. Definitely not going to add to $2 orders. $10 minimum going forward? I think so. I think that's the only way. Should be worldwide. Well, all like Nubank, for example, is a LATAM company, but it trades in American markets. So that's fine. Grab is perfectly fine. I can purchase that as well. But I don't want to buy something that doesn't trade. Like I have to go on a separate brokerage or something. I'm not doing that. I'm not worried about fees. Well, this will be a commission-free brokerage. Yeah, that's true. If I see a bunch of stuff that's under the same name or something like this, I'll definitely throw it in. Kevin, where do you want that? Didn't Kevin order something else, by the way? Buy some Palantir. Yeah, I'll just this one time I'll do $7 of Palantir. And then what the heck am I going to do whenever someone donates in another currency or something? I guess I don't know. It'll get a little complicated. I don't want to overcomplicate it. This is just supposed to be something fun that we look back on. Let chat pick the top 4 names. No, I'm gonna allow anyone that donates will get their stock put into the thing. I'm not gonna be picky about it. It won't take me too long. I expect just a couple of donate. Obviously, this is some excitement first day, but I don't expect that this will be every single day, and then I'll just be able to go in and purchase in my brokerage whatever amount of the fractional share, or I'll just purchase it in dollar amounts like you can on Hood, right? Ask ChatGPT what the rules are. Yeah, I think I'm going to update some sort of spreadsheet or whatever that shows everyone that's donated a leaderboard of the names that they have. I'm going to try to create all that. And then on that, we'll also say the rules and everything. We'll make this a really big part of the community, which will be a community portfolio. Bro, you've been live for 2 hours. Man, I'm creating. So I reached out to Amit. I was like, "Do you think that this is crazy, or you think it's going to work?" And he's like, "I think it's a really cool idea." And bro, I've gotten so many Palantir orders. I've got to buy, well, actually a ton of SoFi, which I feel very grateful for. Clove, ASTS, UNH, like this is going to be a different portfolio than what I'm used to. Oh, Carl, that's beauty right there, brother. NVIDIA for the host. It has to be represented. Now, finally, we have NVIDIA. I'll also be putting in money into the portfolio as well. I just don't know how much. Like, I mean, if we keep up this level, like where we've already gotten like a bunch of orders, I'll just put in a couple grand or whatever. But if it isn't, I don't want it just be my portfolio. I don't know. Like, should I be a large percentage of the portfolio? Should I match 50% of everything and pick my picks? How should we do this? I don't know. That'll be fun. Like, I mean, this is our game, right? So we'll change the rules or whatever as things go on. To this will just be the viewers. Oh, so it'll be me versus you guys. Yeah. Just community. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's fair then. Match 25%. Everyone's got different ideas. I love this. Your portfolio versus community. Fun comparison. Just do audience donations. Yeah, I think maybe that's fine. I don't know. Like, what do we want? Are we looking for like, I think the performance is more important than the overall size of it in general. So, obviously, you guys know the picks that I would absolutely pick. Like right now, I think Nvidia, Nubank, Google, Amazon. These picks are just like what I'm loving right now. Even Shark Ninja or TTD. Like I don't know if you guys have seen my recent video, but those are really the names that I've been enjoying recently. So are you going to buy on dips or just market open? It's going to have to be market open, right? You guys can decide whenever you think there's an opportune time to purchase that company. I don't want to make a decision for someone where someone says, oh, buy ASTS and it's already running. And then I go, okay, I'm going to wait for a dip. And then it just keeps going, right? It's not my decision there. So I'm just going to buy it whenever the orders come in. And it can be fractional share. I think most of these are going to be fractional shares, right? Like ServiceNow is $1,000. But I still want ServiceNow to be part. I actually think it is. I think someone donated $10 for ServiceNow or something. But yeah, it is just for fun. That's what it's for. But yeah. Thankful no Palantir or Hood. There is definitely Palantir in this portfolio. There was a couple orders. They're not going to make up for a large weighted share of the portfolio already, but and then I think there was another 2 or whatever, but yeah. Yeah, but the fraction, like as we continue to add on those things, it'll be larger and larger fractions of those shares. Once we get up to a full share, then we won't have fractions anymore. We won't need to worry about buying once a week. We could buy as the orders come. That won't matter. It's always for fun until it works. I mean, hey, I will definitely, if you guys continue to just beat the markets in my own portfolio, I'll be matching what you guys do in my own portfolio. Maybe I'll keep it separate from like what I do with my money, but I'll be looking into what you guys have to say, because clearly you guys will be doing something right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually approaching 2 hours on this stream. It's definitely been a longer one, but it's been a fun one. We've talked about health and SoFi hitting new highs and everything in between in terms of Nubank and NVIDIA. And oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about NVIDIA's. China wants to essentially be installing and putting in about 115,000 AI chips into desert data center like data centers. Well, how are they getting 115,000 NVIDIA chips? I don't know. I guess smuggling's a real thing. Very interesting, but yeah. And overheating. Yes, this is still the same stream that I literally disconnected from. Air duster, I will do that. Payush is going to be my computer expert in this chat. Singapore, yeah, but NVIDIA had some things to say about Singapore. They said 99% of all orders are coming from US companies. So for a minute, I thought you were a naked Tanner. Come on now. Come on. This is a beige shirt. We all know it. Put your PC in the washer to cool it. Yeah, I'll try that. I will. We're not going to buy the SPY. No ETFs. Individual equities only. Or do we want to allow ETFs so then people can buy like semiconductor ETF stuff? Like, I don't know. Definitely no leveraged funds or anything along those lines, short-sighted funds. I don't want to do any of that. So I think maybe we should just stay away from ETFs in general and just do only single equities. Fill your PC with rice? Yeah, I could try that. Isaacman has to be in there. NVIDIA is selling to China directly. I don't know about all that. Like, what are they hiring employees that are just breaking the law? Like, I don't know. I don't foresee that happening. There was a report that came out that said they possibly have about 25,000 chips right now. Marvell. Okay. Marvell. But yeah, it'll be. Welcome. Thank you, Barinder. Yeah, sorry about the dude. My brain's cooked now. NVIDIA, 25,000 chips. I don't think that NVIDIA is selling them directly to China. Are they getting smuggled in? Maybe. Are they getting 100,000 AI chips getting smuggled in? Where? Okay. Either way, if this is actually true, I think it proves that one, the Chinese native chip manufacturers are not as good as what people say, and that they really do need NVIDIA. And that two, the demand is so unbelievably insane, and that the build outs are just non-ending. It's absolutely incredible. What do you think about Shift 4 to get in now? I'm a big fan of Shift 4. Big fan. Yeah, I've got nothing against Shift 4 at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a 2-hour stream for what should have been a 30-minute stream, but we had a great time. Thank you all so much. Congratulations to the SoFi community hitting $20. It's still closed below that, but hopefully that will change. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll set up the community thing and have that all ready to go for tomorrow. And make sure you guys check out my top 7 stocks to buy. It was my most recent video. I think it's a very good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Bye for now.